Shams, we are live.
Okay. Bismillah.
اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا ليعذب الله المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات ويتوب الله على المؤمنين والمؤمنات وكان الله غفورا رحيما.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All praises due to Almighty Allah. I welcome you all onto another edition of All You Will Believe. Inshallah, this is the episode 187th of All You Will Believe, and we've come a long way, alhamdulillah, and it's good to be here again. And we have today, inshallah, two interesting conversations that we want to have, and I do hope that you all stick around to be part of the conversation, and also invite your family and friends. And obviously, that's our usual call to you. So please, as we're on the dial now, could you kindly share the link, put it as your DP, invite your family and friends, put it on all your social media handles, and encourage your family and friends to join too, because we are about to share very, very important and useful information. So, and just before I go on, my name is Rashida Hassan, and inshallah, I'll be your anchor for today. And of course, our moderator, our prof, our dad is also here to moderate as Professor Mashood Hebaderi. But before we go fully into today's episode, I'll just do a couple of announcements. Like I said, please invite your friends, loved ones, and family, and share the link as much as you can. Also, this is to remind you that the Call the Arsenal campaign is still ongoing. We are asking that you grant us a loan of £25,000. You could do it individually, you could do it as a group, and you could even do a Call the Arsenal that is less than that. But for us to get to where we want and to proceed from where we are presently, which we are really very thankful to you for, we would appreciate this donation. This Call the Arsenal to the rebuild of our mosque. Also, as you know, our magazine, E-Class, the e-magazine that was launched last, I think was last month or so, we have another edition coming up very soon. And I promise you, there's a lot of juicy things in there that you don't want to miss out on. And also, this is also to welcome our new members. Alhamdulillah, we are so happy that more people are joining the MANUK Old Kent Road Mosque, and this is to encourage you also to be part of us and to welcome those who have joined, and to say that inshallah, may Allah accept it as an act of ibadah from all of us here in the world and inshallah in the hereafter. And also, we will be having a very interesting program just almost at the beginning of Ramadan. In fact, from tomorrow. And we would like to invite you all to join us in a special edition at the Peckham Gallery. I think the place is called Start for Share Gallery. Inshallah, we'll be having an exhibition to showcase the Old Kent Road Mosque, what it was, what it is presently as we are working on it, and what it would be in the future. So we would like to have you there, and this we are doing in collaboration with the University of Westminster, as well as the Start for Share Gallery in Peckham. And this is going to start, like I said, tomorrow. Is from tomorrow to the 17th of March 2024. You're going to hear a bit more about what this is all about today as part of the conversation on Oh You Will Believe. So it will be great to see you, your family. It's not just tomorrow, it's all through the week up till the 17th. So just walk into there. There's a lot to see. Questions, you can ask us questions. You can find out about how to get involved, and all that. So this is to encourage you to invite your family and friends. Also, we need volunteers to help with the mosque collections. You all know this is a mosque for the whole community, and we are building this together. So the more people we have to support, the better we can actually reach all the places to get the support for the mosque. So we need volunteers, and if you would like to volunteer, you would like to help do mosque collection, do reach out to Alhaji Abdurrahman Amode or Brother Ishao Eletu. Both of them are part of the committee for the mosque collection. And if you need any information, you can reach out to the secretariat on that. Also, we have started collecting donation for iftar during Ramadan. This is a very meritorious call to support that. I'm sure that you would all want to benefit from. So we want to feed people in the month of Ramadan, and we would be very happy if you can't support us to do that. So for you to do that, kindly contact Sister Monsurat Adua Uyenuga. She is the social officer female, as well as members of the executive team. So you can contact them for that. And also, please do remember to sign the gift aid form to allow us maximize your donation towards the association and for the benefit of every one of us. Also, we are keeping a voluntary list of all mosque users, and this is being compiled. You don't have to do it, but we strongly encourage and recommend that you should put your name on that list, because it does help us to do our planning properly and to ensure that the community is well served. The MANUK management is happy to let you visit the site of our mosque under construction. So we want you to be inspired. We want you to see what is going on there, so that you will know that whatever donation you've been making is not going to waste. There is a lot to be proud of. So we kindly invite you, if you would like to see what's going on, and to also be encouraged to do more. And finally, I will call on you. I know I'm going to keep short soon. It's a lot to take on, but we just have to say all those things. So would like to also encourage you to enroll your kids at the MANUK Maracas. While the slots are available, it's really, really, really well subscribed to, but we still encourage you to come, and then we'll find a space for you. So do bring your children so that they can also learn about the deen and be able to recite the Quran fluently. And talking about that, I'll go straight to the next item on the program, and that is the recitation from the Holy Quran. And the student from Maracas that's going to recite for us today is Abdusalam Olawore. I hope you're here, Abdusalam. Assalamu alaikum, are you here? Abdusalam? If you are, please raise your hand so that I can put you on the Abdusalam Ola. Okay, perfect. So I've just promoted you. Accept the promotion, and then let's have your recitation, please. While we're waiting for Absalam, may I kindly again remind you to please share the links. We are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on all the social media platforms, but you can also, let people benefit directly by sharing this Zoom link. Absalam, are you here with us?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Sir, Bismillah. Go on.
Video.
Use your video, Absalam, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عبس وتولى أن جاءه الأعمى وما يدريك لعله يزكى أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى أما من استغنى فأنت له تصدى وما عليك ألا يزكى وأما من جاءك يسعى وهو يخشى فأنت عنه تلهى كلا إنها تذكرة فمن شاء ذكر في صحف مكرمة مرفوعة مطهرة بأيد سفرة كرام بررة قتل الإنسان ما من أي شيء خلقه من نطفة خلقه فقدر ثم سبيل يسر ثم أماته فأكبر ثم إذا شاء أنشره كلا لما يقض ما أمره فلينظر الإنسان إلى طعامه أما سببنا ما أصب ثم شققنا الأرض شقا وأنبتنا فيها حبا وعنبا وقضبا وزيتونا ونخلا وحدائق غلبا وفاكهة وهبا متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت السوق يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قتر أولئك هم الكفرة الفجر.
Thank you very much, Abdusalam, for that beautiful recitation. May Allah accept it from you and from every single one of us that listened to your recitation. And may Allah bless you, bless your parents, and bless, everybody that listened to you. Thank you very much. And with that, I would hand over to our prof, who is going to moderate the session today. Like I said, we've got two very interesting conversations that we're going to be having today. So, Prof, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Rashida, thank you so much for starting off with us, so beautifully. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm also really pleased to welcome us to this week's edition of OE Who Believe. And today we will be looking at a very, very, two important issues, as Sister Rashida did mention. One of them is about health. Islam encourages us to look after ourselves, to look after our health. Actually, you find a lot of hadith. People will come to the Prophet and ask him, about prayers, and the Prophet said one of the best things you could ask from Allah is al-afiyah. Actually, in one tradition, the Prophet is reported to have said that ma utiya ahadun ba'da al-yaqin khayran min ma'afa. That is, there's nothing better after faith. After Allah has given you faith, the next better thing that Allah can give you is good health. And our health actually is a trust which Allah has given us. The scholars, when they refer to the verse in the Quran, that in the hereafter, the Quran says that Allah will ask us about all the merciful things, all the good things He gave us, how we used it, and the ulama indicate that one of those things is our health. So health, as we say in English, health is wealth. No matter what we have, if we don't have good health, one scholar, is reported to have said that filmal is wa fil awladi mukrama. If you have wealth, yes, there's goodness in it. If you have children, there's honor in it. But he then said, "Wasukam yunsika zikr mal wal walad." But if you are ill, illness can make you forget about your wealth and even your children. So today, inshallah, we want to look at one aspect of our health. And the person who will be talking to us is one of our, children in the community whom we are really, really very proud of, many of them like that. I'm really, really privileged to be introducing Ibrahim Mebude. Ibrahim is an experienced senior audiologist, hearing aid dispenser, and microsuction specialist. He has, 5 years history of delivering patient care in diverse NHS and private healthcare environments. He is, proficient in wax removal, hearing aid fittings, speech test, and tinnitus consultation and management. He will be taking us through a brief discussion on looking after our ears. Perception is very, very important. Hearing is one of our major sensory organs. You don't know how blessed you are until you lose it. As the prophet said, that, two important things, people don't treasure them until they lose them. One of them is health, and the other one is, your free time that you have. So we need to look after our health. And today, Ibrahim will be talking to us about how we can really look after our ears, so that we can grow with it, even up to into very, very old age. Ibrahim will be speaking for about 20 minutes, briefly. And then secondly, we have Dr. Julie Marsh and Dr. Shahid, both of them from the University of Westminster. As Sister Rashida did mention, they are collaborators with the MANUK in relation to the exhibition which is starting tomorrow. And they will be looking at a discussion on faith, place, and migration, which is the title of the exhibition tomorrow. After Ibrahim has spoken, inshallah, we'll have a brief interlude, and then Julie and Dr. Shahid will be available to give us insight into the topic of the exhibition. So Ibrahim, Ahlan wa sahlan, you're most welcome. May Allah accept this as an act of ibadah for you. We are really very proud of you. So you can start now, just for 20 minutes. Since we have two speakers, please be conscious of time and speak within time, inshallah. Bismillah.
Prof, for that lovely introduction, and thank you to the moderators and organizers for inviting me to the event. It's always a great privilege to speak amongst my parents, for give back some of the knowledge that you guys have given me. So jazakallah khair. I'm gonna share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So I will, as the professor said, I will try and stay within the time limit, and I won't take up too much of your time. I'm just going to be doing a brief presentation talking about ear health and how we can look after our ears. So what you are looking at here is sort of just a brief image of what the makeup of the ear is like. So we start from here, where you can see the outer ear. This is what we would call the pinna, it's the outer ear. And then we move on to the middle part of the ear, which is so all the way here, which is your ear canal. And then you also got your eardrum here, which is a thin piece of skin, which is held in place by these three small bones here called the ossicles, which are actually the smallest bones in your body. So that is basically what makes up the middle ear. And then this is your inner ear, where all of kind of the work happens. So this small kind of rotatory thing you can see here is your hearing organ, which is the cochlea, and that's made up of millions of very, very tiny hair cells, so that every time you hear a sound, this is the process that the sound moves through the ear, and then it sends the signals from the cochlea to the brain, which then translates all of those kind of signals into the sounds that we hear. So again, this is just a brief demonstration of what the work that kind of happens in the ear every time you hear a sound. So moving on, in terms of what kind of causes hearing loss and some of the most kind of common reasons that you may get hearing loss, the first one will be age. So again, just as we get older over time, our hearing naturally deteriorates. So that is one of the kind of main causes of hearing loss to see most of the time. You can get hearing loss from exposure to loud noises, and this could be sudden hearing loss, like, being exposed to a very, very loud sound like an explosion, or being exposed to loud noises over an extended period of time. Another very common form of hearing loss can be due to like a buildup of earwax, which I'll be expanding more on in this presentation. So just as the ear naturally builds up with wax that can block any sounds from kind of moving through to the inner part of the ear, then you can also get hearing loss from like a prolonged ear infection that may cause damage to the middle ear or the inner ear. And lastly, sometimes from trauma to the head. So, if you may have been in a car accident or anything like that may have caused some trauma to the head, you can suffer from an extended hearing loss from things like that. So moving on to what some of the symptoms of the hearing losses that you may experience day to day. So asking people to repeat themselves in conversations, especially when it's quiet. It's quite common to have difficulties when there's a lot of background noise or kind of competing sound. But if you're finding that even when your surroundings aren't particularly loud, or it's just one person you're speaking to and you still struggle to hear, that could be a sign that you're suffering from some form of hearing loss. Another common one, increasing volume on the television. If you find that you're watching television with family or friends and you might need it a bit louder than, say, other people, that can be a symptom. Difficulty hearing on the phone. So again, can be naturally difficult. It's always a lot easier to be able to hear what someone's saying when they're in front of you and you can kind of pick up on their facial expressions and you can subconsciously lip read. So it's a bit more difficult on the phone. But if you find that you're having kind of extreme difficulty on the phone, that could be a symptom. And then difficulty following group conversations. So, if you're sat with a group of people and you find that you're missing out on parts of the conversation or you can't really follow the conversation, that could be another symptom of a hearing loss. So again, like I said, we'll talk about the two main kind of common reasons. So again, the first one is age and the second one is wax. So in terms of age-related hearing loss, this is a progressive hearing, like I said, at some point in later life, everyone kind of suffers from some form of age-related hearing loss. And it's usually the high frequencies that are affected first. So the high frequencies are what are responsible for kind of the clarity in speech. So you get a lot of the soft sounds in speech, a lot of the consonants in those higher frequencies, and that is really what makes speech clear. So a lot of people with an age-related hearing loss tend to find that they can hear that people are speaking, but they can't hear exactly what's being said because of the loss in clarity. And that's due to the hair cells and the auditory neurons in the inner part of the ear that just degenerate over time and they don't get better. So this is what a typical hearing test would look like for someone that had an age-related hearing loss. So as you can see here, these numbers along the top are the different sounds that you would hear. So the lower numbers would represent the deeper tones that are presented on a hearing test. So this is where you'd get a lot of the deeper tones, a lot more bassier sounds, where this is also you'd get the vowel sounds in the alphabet, and you'd also get a lot of men's voices in this kind of deeper tones. And then the larger numbers would be the more higher pitched tones, the more squeakier sounds in a hearing test, where you'd get women's and children's voices, and like I said before, where you'd get a lot of the soft sounds in speech where clarity comes from. And then these numbers down the side are how loud the noises are presented in a hearing test. So the numbers at the top are for very, very quiet sounds, and the numbers at the bottom are for very, very loud sounds. So essentially, these two lines here, the red circles being for the right ear and the blue crosses being for the left ear, will be the different sounds that a person could hear, or sorry, the quietest sounds that a person could hear at each of these frequencies. And as you can see, they start off quite good. So they start off at the top of the graph where the sounds are quiet. And as the sounds gradually get more and more high pitched, you can see that the hearing kind of just tails off and gradually gets worse. And again, this is what a typical age-related hearing loss would look like. It's a lot better in the lower tones, and then it gradually gets worse as the sounds get more and more high pitched. So when should you visit your GP? If you are suffering from any of the symptoms that I've mentioned previously, it's very, very important that you don't ignore them, just because once your hearing does start to deteriorate, it rarely gets better. And it's usually advised that you get a hearing test every 3 years, I guess, once you start to notice these symptoms, just so you can kind of keep a track of how your hearing is progressing. We usually kind of estimate that your hearing deteriorates roughly every 3 years. So 3 years is always a good point to kind of retest your hearing and see if your hearing has deteriorated and see if there's anything you need to do about it from the time that you start to notice the symptoms. So moving on to the other very, very common reason for hearing loss is occluding wax. So earwax is a naturally protective kind of oily substance that is produced in the ear canal, and it actually has a very, very important function as it helps to remove any kind of small particles from the ear canal, things like dust and bacteria. And this happens via a self-cleaning kind of self-regulatory system of the ear canal. So your ears are actually self-cleaning. So as the wax builds up and traps any sort of foreign objects or particles in the ear, the wax will slowly start to work its way out of your ear canal. So sometimes you may find that you might wake up and maybe find some earwax on your pillow, and that's just from where your ears are doing their job and then naturally just clearing out your ear canal. And then an excess collection of this is what is sometimes known as occluding wax, where your ear canal can actually become blocked by the wax. And for here, you can see some pictures of what this might look like. So the first picture is what a ear canal with no wax looks like. So you can see here, this is the eardrum, and the ear canal itself is completely free of wax. Next picture is just some wax in the ear canal. So you can still see the eardrum at the back of the image there, but then you've got some earwax in the canal. And then in the last picture, you can see this ear canal is completely blocked by wax. You can't see the eardrum at all. I think it's also very important to mention that some earwax, like I said, is good because it does, and it actually has a function, it does a job. Any kind of, it's important that you remove all wax from your ears. It's actually encouraged that you leave some earwax in the canal for it to do its natural job. But obviously, if it is completely occluding like this, it can cause issues. So what should I do if I have earwax? So like I said, it's a normal substance and it functions to protect your ear canal. So it's not necessary that you remove all of it. And as you can see by the big picture in the corner here, please do not use cotton buds on your ears. In most cases, you will end up pushing the wax deeper into the ear canal, which can then become impacted on your eardrum and cause damage to the eardrum. Sometimes it can lead to something called tinnitus, which is like a ringing in the ear that you may hear. It can cause some sort of discomfort, and sometimes in more kind of extreme cases, you can feel, because your ears are blocked with wax, that you can't really hear as well. So really, earwax only kind of needs to be removed if you have any of the symptoms that I will mention. So for example, discomfort, ringing in the ears, or hearing loss, or if a clear view of the eardrum is needed. So for example, if you needed a hearing test done and an audiologist needs to look inside your ear to see your eardrum, they need a clear view. So if there was any wax, we wouldn't be able to proceed with any testing, because you wouldn't be able to see that your eardrum is healthy. Olive oil is very good to help kind of loosen the wax. And essentially what the olive oil will do is it will soften any wax in the ear canal, and it will make it easier for the wax to either clear itself or for it to be physically removed. So olive oil is good. You can use household olive oil, or you can get it over the counter at any pharmacy, and usually one kind of drop in each ear every fortnight, every 2 weeks is good to kind of, again, keep the wax soft and help it to remove itself or to be physically cleared. So in terms of wax removal techniques that are currently used, so these are two separate techniques. This image here is you may have heard of a technique of removal called syringing. This is kind of the more kind of traditional technique and the more widely used technique a long time ago. And this basically involves flushing water down the ear to remove any wax, and just basically kind of come out of the ear canal. Syringing isn't really widely practiced anymore, just because it can be quite dangerous if you have, so for example, if you think about someone that might have very hard wax in the canal, you would need a lot of pressure with the water to remove it, which can be damaging to the eardrum and cause a lot of other issues. So syringing isn't really used much anymore. This other technique you can see here with this little tool is called irrigation. So it's similar to syringing, where they use water, but they don't use as much pressure. So it kind of just washes out the earwax gently. And it's usually used in conjunction to the other method, which I'll speak about. It's rarely kind of used alone, or it can be used alone, but for much softer wax. So it's similar, but a bit better and more kind of recommended. But the last method I'll talk about, which is kind of the gold standard of wax removal, is called microsuction. So this is where they would use a tool like this, which would be, these are called loops, and it's essentially for magnification. So you can look inside the ear. You can also use a microscope, and then this device here, which is a suction pump, and it's basically like a Hoover technique. They would look inside your ear and just basically use a Hoover to just kind of suction the wax out. This is, like I said, the gold standard of earwax removal, because it's a lot more precise. You can see exactly what you're doing at all times. You can see how far you are into the ear canal. So this is another little illustration of how wax removal would take place. So you can see the earwax in the canal here, and then a probe would go into the ear canal just to safely and very carefully just suction and remove the wax. So this would be kind of the best technique to get it done right, would be microsuction. So how can you get earwax removed? Over the pandemic, wax removal was deemed non-essential by the NHS, so it's widely kind of inaccessible across the NHS. It's quite difficult to get it done. You can ask your GP. Some GP surgeries can still remove it, or they can refer you to somewhere that can get it done. But again, it is widely kind of inaccessible across the NHS. So a lot of wax removal that is currently taking place is done privately, and most private wax removal will be done via the technique we just spoke about, which is microsuction. And if you are interested in having your ears cleared via microsuction, there is a clinic just outside Greenwich Masjid, literally right next to it, which is the Oasis Masjid. Here are some pictures here of the clinic itself and the consultation room where we can offer the service to you. And then I just included some pictures of the leaflets as well, and some of the other services that are offered from the clinic as well. So I'll just leave that on the screen for a few seconds. And again, this clinic is right next to Greenwich Masjid. And this is opened recently. And with that, I will bring my presentation to a close. Jazakallah khair for your time and listening. I hope that you found that beneficial, and I welcome any questions.
Jazakumullah khair, Ibrahim. That was really very, very good and on time, and really very, very beneficial. I mean, certainly, I know there will be questions. I have listed, 2 questions here, which we'll be asking, down the road. Thank you so much. We will have a brief interlude, and then after the interlude, we'll come back to listen to Julie Marsh and Shahid. Interlude. Control room, please. Perhaps maybe there's a tech. Okay.
The mosque is the soul of the Muslim community. It is the hub of life-giving and spiritually fulfilling activities, feeding of people on the street, youth camp, empowerment of women, and care for the elderly. The timely and effective COVID-19 intervention on Oh You Who Believe, our online lecture series, is a masterpiece. The Visit My Mosque project breaks barriers. We take pride in the blend of our mosque users who cut across color, gender, age, and social differences. Academic, moral, and spiritual education is catered for at the Markaz. The 5 daily prayer, Jum'ah service, our healthy living, counseling, marriage, naming, and burial arrangements are top quality. The Old Kent Road Mosque and Islamic Cultural Center, where we do these and more, is now in ground zero. Our faith in Allah and your great contributions can make the 6-story building a reality. Please donate and encourage others around you to donate towards the rebuilding of the house of Allah. May Allah bless you abundantly. Ameen.
Okay. Jazakumullah khair jaza for reminding us about the project, the Old Kent Road Mosque. To put it in perspective, we've moved beyond ground zero now. Anybody who goes along the Old Kent Road will be able to see that we've completed the phase 1 plus. The 6-story building, the structure is there now. What we are doing is we are raising funds to complete phase 2 plus. And the phase 2 plus is to complete the basement, the ground floor, and the first floor for use, so that we can move back in there from the temporary site where we are now. And as we said, we thank everyone who has been donating towards that. We talk about the Qadr Hassan, which was mentioned by Sister Rashida earlier, but we are still taking donations. So let it keep rolling in, inshallah. We do the stuff here, on OU Believe, whereby we try to raise £1,000 for one stuff, and people have been contributing to that. The Bricks of Barakah is also there. One brick is £100. Actually, the Bricks of Barakah is very on focus now. Because if you pass there now, the visiting we arrange, if you go there, you'll really be motivated. The brickworks are coming up now. The brickworks of the basement has been done. The ground floor one is being done. So we need a lot of bricks now. And one brick is £100. So inshallah, anybody who wants to, contribute to that, bismillah, there's opportunity to do that. We'll be coming back to that if we have time, inshallah, perhaps we'll be able to do some fundraising today. But because of time, let me, invite, Dr. Julie Marsh and Dr. Shahid from the University of Westminster, to speak briefly on faith, place, and migration, particularly in relation to exhibition we are starting tomorrow, Julie? Is Dr. Mash there?
I've not seen her, so I'm not really sure. If you're there, maybe you want to
Well,
raise.
I think, Dr. Shahid Salim is there. So
Yeah.
let's, okay, perhaps maybe Dr. Shahid
Yeah.
can, bring us a little bit of information.
Yeah,
on the
sure.
exhibition.
Just sending Julie a message as well. Yeah, so the installation has been taking place in the gallery, Staffordshire Street Gallery, and it's nearly sort of ready, so it should be installed by tomorrow. The nice surprise for the mosque community will be that the old carpet, or the former carpet that was in the old Kent Road Mosque, has been reinstalled in the gallery. So when you go there, you will have a direct connection with the mosque as you remember it. And there, Julie and Johnny are there now, so they can show you exactly exactly that carpet in place and talk to you about the installation as it is at the moment.
Yes, Johnny and Julie, you're most welcome. Very nice to have you.
Thank you
So
so
the floor
much.
is yours now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, we're installing, as you can see. So this is the actual space itself. It will look very, very different tomorrow evening. And quite a lot of the exhibition is going to be quite dark, so you can see the projections. But we've got two kind of expanded installations. So we have a floor piece, so you can see the carpet from the original mosque here. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but
Yes.
you see.
Yeah,
you
we can see it, yeah.
Then if you can see here, oh, Johnny, you're going to have to.
Yeah, okay.
Johnny's going to take over.
So we've got the carpet from the mosque, which I'm sure you all remember. We managed to
Yeah, very much.
save some. And we actually recorded the last Jummah prayer before lockdown, because if you remember, there was a lockdown, and then after that there was kind of distance prayers, and then the mosque got demolished. But we recorded the last Jummah prayer when everyone was together, and we're going to replay that prayer actually back onto the original carpet. So it's going to be a moving projection of the Jummah prayer. So it's basically there's this track up here, and there's a sort of a small portable projector which moves back and forth along the track and projects back onto the carpet. And we've also on this wall, well, you can't see it at the moment, but there's a
huge projection as well. And that was the virtual assembly projection that I think many of you have seen in the Amphica P3 show. And I can't take any credit for all the wonderful technical work. This is all Johnny that's been doing that. And Johnny has also been helping too, the two Johnnies. I guess be really good just to tell you a little bit more about what's actually going to be taking place. So the opening starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow, and both pieces are going to be shown up until 7:30, and then there's going to be a break at 7:30. We've got some wonderful talks. I think there might even be a choir as well. So it's going to be a fantastic evening. It's obviously free, and there's tea and coffee, soft drinks, and then the latter part, we're going to bring out chairs and enjoy the work, but also have a good conversation. So hopefully it'll be a really lovely evening, and I hope to see as many of you as possible. And also just to say that there are other events taking place. So I'm sure you've got the all of this info, but you hopefully take a flyer away with you again tomorrow. But there's a memory and a future workshop taking place. That's on this Saturday, between 12 and 2 p.m. And myself, Johnny and Johnny are going to be here, and we'd really love you to come along to that. And basically it's the idea of sharing memories, that we all have many amazing memories, but also thinking about the future aspirations. And one request from the facilitator of that workshop was if you can bring some objects along with you, objects of significance, that would be wonderful to start that kind of conversation. And then we also have the evening iftar taking place, and that's on Saturday, the 16th of March, 6 till 9 p.m. It's going to be a wonderful evening. So very much looking forward to that. We also then have a letterpress workshop on the 17th, and that's another the Saturday following. So again, wonderful opportunity for the local community to join us and kind of celebrate the wonderful work you do. And I think every evening, I haven't got the info for this, but I think every evening there's a talk taking place. Is that right, Shahed? I might hand over to you.
Yeah. There will be someone, maybe an imam, or there will always be someone. There will be, short talks, and people can actually ask questions. They can, ask for information about what the mosque is doing and all that. So every evening there will be someone there, especially imams from different mosque.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, for that, I've been very informative update. We are all looking forward, to the installation and the takeoff, tomorrow, definitely. And the carpet there brings back, very, very good, fun memories as we see it now. It's been a while now, people forgotten about how the the old carpet, looks like. So thank you so much for everything that, you've been doing in collaboration. Now we will take questions now. We can take questions both in relation to the presentation done by Ibrahim on how we can take care of our ears, and also in relation to the exhibition, which is starting tomorrow. So let's see if we have questions. Control room, do we have any questions either on the chat or people who have raised their hands? Control room.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Our reciter said she's got a question. How much money have we raised so far? That's one of the youths, one of the Marcus students, our reciter. He asked that question.
Well, regarding money, I think there's usually, just recently, the financial details were released. It's unrolling, it's ongoing. If you look at the past report, I don't have it in front of me. I don't know whether the project treasurer is there, if they can summarize it. But it has been ongoing. So you find out that there's updates all the time. I don't know whether there's anyone there who can speak to that.
He wants to talk.
Pardon?
President has his hands up, and then
Okay.
Yeah, maybe he wants to talk to that.
Okay, President.
Not in relation to the fund now. I have a question for one of the lecturers.
Okay, all right. So we've got a couple of hands up. I guess with relations to how much we've raised so far, I don't know if the treasurer is here, but I'm sure that we've raised well over £2 million in terms of what we have spent on the mosque at the moment. And we continue to raise more. We are raising we're targeting another 3 million now to at least get the mosque to a place where we can all go in there and be able to use the space. So I hope that answers your questions. If you want more specifics, I'm sure the treasurer will be somewhere around later, and she will be able to give that information. Can we have the question from the president, please?
No, Jazakumullah for that. Thank you, the speaker, Brother Ibrahim. My question is, when we perform ablution and then we rinse our hair, and then, sometimes we feel that water goes into the canal, and then by the time we finish, we tend to use the cotton bud just to take the water out. So does this cause any damage, or is it because it doesn't go deep into the hair? So I just want to clarify that.
So yeah, cotton buds can be used, but should only be used right on, like you said, on the edge of the ear canal. You shouldn't be pushing it right inside, because again, like I said in the presentation before, any any kind of, if you're putting it really deep into the ear canal, you're more than likely just going to push the wax further down into the ear canal. So if you are going to use cotton bud, it should just be right on the edge and the outside of the ear canal, the parts that you can see.
Okay. Jazakumullah khairan. I hope that helps. I think Alhaji Ajikale. Imam Ajikale, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you, Prof. and Sister Rashida. My question is to Sheikh Ibrahim. That it was a twin question. One, my honorable president has asked, and the other one is, sometimes you are in the bathroom and water escapes through your earlobe down there, and you feel that uncomfortable sound when you bang your. What's the best way to get rid of the water that's lodged, into through your earlobes into down there? I don't know where it's deposited, but it makes you very uncomfortable, and it gives a sound. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have the right medical jargon to describe it, but what is the best way to get rid of it? Sometimes it comes out when you would have even forgotten, when you lay your head on the pillow or something, but it's on its own when it comes out. But is there anything you can do before it comes out on its own, or we should just leave it to come naturally?
Yeah. Well, exactly, you've answered the question there. Just naturally, your ear canal is kind of, again, like I said, like a clear passage, and the eardrum also functions to stop anything going any further down into your ear. So, and because your ear canal is kind of like a self-cleaning, self-regulatory system, it will just come out naturally over time. So sometimes it may take a bit longer, but usually water comes out a lot quicker than like wax, for example. But yeah, just leaving it and it will naturally just come out on its own over time.
Okay, I mean, Ibrahim, if I might follow up with that, I mean, you did mention the fact that we cannot use cotton buds, but naturally people want to clean their ears. Not everybody will want to go to the audiologist. We do it naturally every day. Sometimes you have some itching. You want to clean you feel some wax. You want to clean it. Could you enlighten us on perhaps maybe how best to do it? Or is it don't do it at all? Just go to the audiologist?
So the best thing to do for if it is wax, the best thing to do is olive oil. So like I said, a drop of olive oil in either ear once every 2 weeks will do the job in terms of softening the earwax, and then the ear cleans itself out, so it naturally comes out by itself. If the wax does need to be cleared, it's best to get it done professionally and not to put anything in the ear, because again, you're just pushing it deeper. It can get compacted on the eardrum and then lead to further problems. So if it does need to be removed, it's best to get it done professionally. But what you can do at home by yourself is use olive oil. That's the best thing to do.
Okay, so I mean, sorry to follow up on this. You find out that, I mean, you find a lot of there are certain ear cleaning implements, I mean,
gadgets
sold online. Did you get it? I said, don't use the ear. Some of them are like, they said, just twist it and it will twist out the. Now, do you recommend that we should not, I mean, go near those at all? Because they're all over, even at Boots. If you go to Boots, you find it on their shelves. That when you put it in your ear, just twist it and it will twist out that it doesn't go deep, it doesn't reach your eardrum. This is what you find on the pack. I have bought a pack that, I mean, it will not touch your eardrum. Just roll it and it will roll out the wax. Do you recommend that, or we should not even go near those as well?
Professionally, I can't really recommend any of them because they're only as safe as the person using it. So they might say it doesn't reach your ear canal, but even a cotton bud, if you push it deep enough, it can touch your eardrum. So anything in terms of wax removal should be done professionally by someone that has an entire view of the ear canal, because you putting something in your ear by yourself, you can't see exactly what you're doing. You don't know how far down your ear canal, your eardrum is, and it's very, very easy for you to perforate your eardrum. A perforation is a hole in the eardrum, and the eardrum isn't thick. It's a very, very thin layer of skin. So it doesn't take a great amount of force for you to poke a hole inside your eardrum. And if you can't see what you're doing, it's very, very easy for you to damage your ear. So professionally, I can't recommend any of those tools because they're not precise enough. You putting something in your ear or putting something on your ear, you can't see exactly what you're doing. So it's best to leave it to a professional that has an entire view of your ear canal when they're removing anything.
Jazakumullah khair. That's very useful. Sister Mulkat.
We have Sister Basira's hands first before Sister Mulkat's, and she's unmuted already.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay, my question goes to Ibrahim about the air wax. My son has a wax for like more than a year now. I've gone to GP. GP advised me to use olive oil. I did use it and it was relieved for some time, but the wax is still there up until now.
Okay.
So I don't know what else to do.
It would be good to speak to the GP about if they can recommend any, if they can have you referred for wax removal. Again, like I said, it's become very, very difficult to get it done on the NHS now. A lot of surgeries have stopped performing wax removal. The only other alternative I can offer, if the GP can't refer you, or if they don't do it in the surgery, or if they can't refer you somewhere to have it removed, it will have to be done privately.
Okay. All right then. Thank you.
Okay. Sister Mulkat.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
My question is to Shahid and Johnny, the two Johnnies and the lady. Thank you very much for your beautiful presentation. I wanted to ask what the capacity of the exhibition venue is of people. Please, thousands turn up. What is the capacity of the whole of the venue place, if you can confirm? Thank you.
Sorry. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 130 capacity. Is that?
Yeah, it's about 120, 130. I mean, they did say if more people come, then they can be accommodated sort of outside up to a certain point, you know, like in the yard and maybe on the pavement and so on. And maybe people can circulate through it. But I think it should be okay. It should be enough capacity for everybody, I think, hopefully. Because on the openings, they said often people do spill out onto the street and it's kind of okay up till 8, 9 o'clock, isn't it? I think they said. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Jazakumullah. I think we have some questions on the chat.
Yes.
Control room, can this be read out here?
Yeah, we have questions. Says how easy, okay, you've talked about how easy is it to get the hairs clean on the NHS? I think you answered that. Then what happens if you don't have wax? Is it a sign of illness?
No, it's not at all. Everyone produces some kind of amount of earwax, some people more than others. It's not a sign of illness if you don't produce a lot of wax. It's just natural. Everyone's ears are different. So some people produce very little amounts of wax, some people produce a lot. It's just natural and subjective, depending on the person. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Can I go on, sir?
Yes, please.
Okay, this question said, thank you to Dr. Julie and the team for what you're doing with the Old Kent Road and the virtual project. Can you please explain if there is any significant impact that this project is having in promoting understanding amongst people of different religion? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak to that question. I think it's having a big impact on giving people who are not familiar with the Muslim culture and what happens inside the mosque to get an insight and to get an understanding into what actually happens within the mosque and who is the community that actually brings the mosque together and runs the mosque and so on. And through the interviews that I've done, like one of the things that I've really realized or becomes very apparent is the significant role that the mosque plays in so many different types of community, not just community activities, but building communities. And I think if we can get that message across to people, that they can see the mosque not just as a building that they don't know what happens inside it or what people do, but as a very important, having a very important role in creating and then maintaining the community and community links. That will be quite an important message to get across. And I think so I think people who are not Muslim, not part of the Muslim community, should then be able to see that, and hopefully they'll come and they can ask questions and so on. And I think you guys already do a lot of work with interfaith work. So I think it's also up to you to try and invite as many people as you can to the exhibition. So the other interfaith groups that you work with, your local councillors, your GP, just everybody that you know in the neighborhood, just ask them, invite them to come, especially at the every evening. I think 4 o'clock will be Meet the Imam. Every day that the exhibition is open. So when, get a program and then ask people to come at that time and meet the Imam and just talk to people. So hopefully you can sort of promote it as much as possible, just so people can learn. And this is all your work that you do already. So it's a way of increasing that work. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Any further questions, control room?
We have this question from Absalam again. Absalam, you had your hand up. Do you want to ask your question directly or you want me to read it? Absalam, are you there?
Can you read it, please?
Okay, so it says, this is for Ibrahim. I've been thinking, does earbuds actually take earwax out fully or does it push it in more?
So it can be both. I'm assuming you mean the cotton buds. Again,
That's right. Yeah.
If the wax is right on the edge of the ear canal, you can use that to just remove it. But if it's deep in the ear canal, you're usually just going to end up pushing it further down.
I have a spiral made of soft rubber to clean my hair, but the lesson is not to get deeper into the inner hairs. So I think that's just a comment. Yeah. Yeah, that's all for now, sir.
Jazakumullah khair jaza. Thank you so much. Ibrahim and Julie and Dr. Shahid. It's always very interesting. Let me maybe Ibrahim may be able to say, you talk about tinnitus, that ringing in the ear. When I lived in Bristol, my neighbor, my neighbor, person living next to me, was a very old man. You won't believe this. Now, every night, the man will be using a stick to be knocking I think his bedroom was near the wall. He'll be knocking our wall. And he'll be saying that we are playing music in the dead of the night. He'll be knocking, that is you. So, we complain, very elderly man. So when the children come to, we complain. So it was then I actually first got hint of what tinnitus can do. So he said, no, we should, the children were begging that, that the old man had this, tinnitus in it. So sometimes he hears ringing and also like playing music. We don't play music in the night, but the man will be hitting the wall, and in the morning he'll be telling us we were playing music throughout the night. So it's really very, very interesting. I don't know, whether you tend to see that type of, effect of tinnitus, or is it that exceptional? Is it just ringing, or maybe it can get to that level as well in people?
No, people get all sorts of sounds with tinnitus in the ear. People get all sorts of sounds. I've heard people with ringing in the ears, buzzing. That sounds like musical tinnitus people get. I've even seen patients that have different sounds in both ears. So I've seen a patient that said they hear a dental drill in one ear, and in the other ear they can hear like a fire alarm. So you can get a very, very kind of a wide array of sounds that people experience with tinnitus. So yes, it's common, but you get different sounds. Yeah.
Jazakumullah khair. Very,
Somebody's got
very
a last
interesting.
question. The person said, what do you do if your hairs are itchy, not necessarily having wax?
I saw this question. So that can sometimes be just irritation of the ear. Sometimes you can get dry skin in the ears as well. So usually, some lubrication can be good for the ear, and it goes hand in hand with wax. So olive oil can be good. It can be used for softening earwax and for kind of lubricating the ear to kind of relieve any irritation or dry skin. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Before we round up, I mean, we know people will be coming to the exhibition tomorrow and the days after. Dr. Shahid, I mean, are there, because we are using a gallery, are there any perhaps maybe restrictions or any limitations that we should note because the public is coming there? So are there any restrictions which we need to put out there?
Not really. I mean, other than the numbers, but I don't think the numbers is an issue.
Parking is an issue.
Parking is an issue. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, parking, yeah.
Yeah.
So no parking space, essentially.
What was that? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty central. There are parking spaces, but not right by the actual gallery itself. So we probably recommend being very careful with that because it's non-parking zone outside the actual gallery itself.
Okay.
It's very central. It's right by all the bus links. So yeah. Oh,
thank you so much. I mean, everyone, perhaps, I mean, we need to, I mean, Ramadan starts next week, and all you who believe, you know, we need to put the information out there, will be every day, except Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So all you who believe will run daily as we do in Ramadan from Monday to Thursday. That is this program. And it will start from 5 o'clock every day to Iftar. So, I mean, from the 1st of Ramadan, if it's Monday or Tuesday, all you who believe will be on air from 5 p.m. in the evening. And it will go on every day, 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, for the 4 weeks of Ramadan. So we hope that will continue to benefit, and we have arranged a lot of series of lectures. I mean, for this Ramadan, we want to talk about the legacies of the different prophets, you know, and also, I mean, some of the early women in Islam, like, I mean, Sayyidah Khadija, Maryam, and others in the Quran. So it's going to be really be very, very interesting. We have so many good speakers listed for Ramadan. So we pray that you all will be able to enjoy this. So we thank you for tonight, Ibrahim. Thank you so much. May Allah count this as an act of ibadah for you. Dr. Mash and Dr. Shahid Salim, thank you so much for your time. And Johnny, also thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. And therefore, I say assalamu alaikum, and we'll be handing over to Rashida to sign us off. Rashida.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah. It's been another interesting episode of Oh You Will Believe, and I'm sure that we've all learned a lot, and we're looking forward to seeing all of you at the Start with Share gallery tomorrow, starting from 6 o'clock, did we say? Oh yeah, so please come along, invite your friends, family, your neighbors, your colleagues at work, you know, everyone basically. So bring them all to the gallery tomorrow. It's the opening, and then we will be there all through till the 17th. And inshallah, you get to meet a lot of people, imams, community leaders, and a host lot of other people will be there. So we'll see you tomorrow at that place, and we'll see you next week for another interesting edition of Oh You Will Believe. Until then, please do share the information, and we'll see you tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Choose which space your bricks of barakah will build. Old Kent Road Mosque in the heart of London needs your urgent support. Donate your share now to invest in your akhirah. Rebuild the house of Allah and support our growing community. Phase 1 has been completed and £3 million is needed to complete the next phase. Stack your sadaqah with bricks of barakah. Donate today by visiting launchgood.com/bricks of barakah.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. إنا عرضنا الأمانة على السماوات والأرض والجبال فأبين أن يحملنها وأشفقن منها وحملها الإنسان إنه كان ظلوما جهولا.
Thank you very much, Sister Rashida.